Star Resonance has a bunch of new Season 1 Part 2 updates to go over that include some future update plans and even new events. On top of that, we did get a brand new maintenance notice, so I'll cover everything that does entail with that specifically. Of course, we also have a new shop update, as well as a whole bunch more. What's up, world? Utopia here, back in with another video. Today we're checking out all things Blue Protocol Star Resonance. So first off, as I did mention, we are getting a brand new maintenance. Now, this one is actually happening on November 25th, so we still have a few days to plan here, and that's going to be from 6 to 9 UTC-2, which for the start time should be 12 a.m. Pacific time or 3 a.m. Eastern time, and then that should end around 3 a.m. Pacific time and around 6 a.m. Eastern time. So fairly reasonable for maintenance. It'll be overnight. They of course do mention it's expected to last around that 3 hours or 180 minutes, and during this time you will not be able to log into the game, so to plan accordingly to that. Although that's actually a really reasonable time for NA. Probably one of the better, or if not the best, times I've actually seen for NA maintenance. Now, they do mention this is mostly just routine maintenance, but it's also to help with smoother gameplay experience. Now, this will tie into some of the future plans and updates there. We'll get into that section here in a second. Before we do break that entirely down, though, I do want to thank A+, as well as Blue Protocol Star Resonance for sponsoring this video. If you guys haven't already, you should check out Blue Protocol. It is completely free to play, and it has never been a better time to jump in now. And yes, it does have catch-up mechanics, so you can progress very quickly. You can download it either in the description, my pinned comment, or even using the QR code on screen. I'd also really appreciate if you guys did use that link, as it helps the channel out a ton. Which for the first one actually does relate to the Nightmare mode for multiplayer actually coming out for the raids. So as you see here, Nightmare mode for multiplayer raids is coming out this next week, and that does actually have to do with the November 25th maintenance. So pretty cool there. It's going to be unlocked up to Nightmare mode. Now they also do have a gift code here that you can use in-game, or you can redeem that in-game. The code is StepXNightmare. That is a 1 in Nightmare though. I'm going to have the code in the description, so if you did want to utilize that, you can, and get yourself some free goodies there, which actually do include 100 Rosebound Orbs, 3 skill books of your choosing, and then 3 basic star chests. I know I'll have some people ask how to redeem a code. It actually is somewhat simple, but is a bit hidden. So all you got to do is head to your settings panel, and then once you get here, you head to the little home tab on the left hand side. You'll then see your profile icon here, and on the right it just says redeem code, and you paste the code in there. Then when you click redeem, it'll be in your mail. Next up here, as I did mention, we did get a brand new store update, which is the Grand Party. That is currently available though and in the store, which actually does include 3 brand new outfits and both variations for the male and the female. So the first one here is the Show Goes On. Again, both variant options there. And then the next one up here is Before the Curtain Falls, where it again does have very unique and distinct features for both the male and the female cosmetic. And then last but not least is the Endless Carnival, which I actually do think mirrors the closest here. Most of these are significantly different from one another though. But again, those have been available since November 20th at 5 a.m. UTC-2, so those are on the store page now and up for grabs. That wasn't all though, and we did actually get some brand new weekly community events. This first one is the weekly knowledge trial. Now, depending on when I have this video go live, it might already be over, but this one is lasting until November 23rd, UTC-2. And this event is specific to the Discord, where they are labeling this one Alvera's Test. And again, participation lasts until November 23rd, my time at 7 a.m. CST. The results and the gift codes are going to be announced November 27th. There are a few additional prizes here, including the first tier getting the advanced book, or 3 of those. Going all the way up through the second tier gets advanced books times 3, the mixing agent 1, and a Battlestar chest, with the top tier, which you have to get 80% correct rate. That's going to include everything previously, as well as some rows or bound, which you do get 100 of those. So again, you can participate in this test over on the Discord, or at least the official version of the Blue Protocol Star Resonance Discord. And they do have a separate channel dedicated to this, so do make sure that you have show all channels checked, or it's probably not going to show up. Since we're speaking of the Discord, we had some recent posts from the Star News Agency, which is essentially helping the global client understand more of the Chinese community and what's happening over in the CN client as it relates to the global client. So to kind of help tie things together, that way we kind of understand what's going to be happening in the future. Now they did drop 2 new posts here. The first one was some funny moments and things that were happening over on the CN client that you can check out, as well as this post here, which is a recreation of the festival event report. So they are having a limited time scene or limited time festival event, which essentially is their own comic convention, anime expo happening inside of the game. Kind of cool there, they're doing a little parade for it. So maybe we get one here as well, kind of going in tandem with some of those. But still cool nonetheless, they are celebrating that in-game as well. Next up here, since we're kind of on the details with the CN client, we do have some future events that are around the corner that are happening near the end of Season 1 Part 2, where we have limited time events that are going to be happening with score challenges and battle title rewards. Those will be introduced through the Hot Sand Joint Battle, which will also be a new login event, much like we had with the Voyages Memento. That one does last until December 7th, so I would assume that this one drops right around after that. Of course, these CN client dates are here, but it will be a bit different depending on when we get those. But those should run alongside some new raid content as well. Of course, we did still have that developer Q&A that tied into the mid-season 1 roadmap. Again, it's still somehow gonna eventually align here with the dates. More than likely, we're not gonna get an extension to Season 1 as it wouldn't make too much sense, kind of like the CN client did. But in a recent dev interview, we did get features that mentioned a DPS meter and a few other things. Still seems like they're working on those. We have no idea if they're gonna implement that directly into our client at the same time as CN gets it. I would maybe assume so there, although we might get it with Season 2 rollout, since essentially we got these Season 1 improvements and buffs that actually did coincide with our release of Season 1. So maybe with Season 2, we do get the Season 2 buffs from their season, or at least essentially the features that were happening there. Those will probably be in tandem with each other. Moving on though, we had a few other future things that are happening with Blue Protocol Star Resonance. This one specifically is a brand new launch of the game. And yeah, of course, we already have BPSR out for the global client. However, this is for the SEA client version. So yes, finally, the Southeast Asia version is going to be getting their client. That one does launch December 18th. Again, we have no idea if all these timelines are going to come together eventually. I would assume so after several iterations and seasons and potential delays that we would eventually be on the same exact schedule, but no idea there, of course. But yes, the SEA region did get their full release here on December 18th. So another one added to the list there. You can actually pre-register right now for that, which is pretty cool overall. So all of those of us that did get the pre-registration rewards, if you are signing up for SEA and you do plan on playing on that region, you can actually net yourself and get yourself here the pre-registration rewards that we got on our launch. A lot of these are very, very helpful, and I would even say a few of these are kind of necessary for launch. A ton of goodies here. The 125k Luno is really good for free to play. Also a nice boost here of the 480 Rosebound Orbs. But I think the best one on here is the Loyal Pickup Pup. So yeah, a lot of stuff on here that you can snag. Very cool there. I'll link to everything on that down below. Overall, should be covered for today's video. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe. And until the next one, deuces.